All right, so it's after week 13, and this is what we have. Here's the playoff run, and we'll go from there. 10-6 is the worst Houston can, so Houston's in. Really, they're a game and a half above Washington, so I would say that Houston would be there. Detroit looks safe, but you never know. Buffalo was 6-1, and now they're 6-7. They're out of it. Houston has taken over their slot. They're 1-0-1 in division, and they're, of course, same thing as their conference. Their record is just that much better than Buffalo. So they tied a winning percentage, but they have the better division record. So Houston right now is in the fourth slot. Buffalo's got to work. They got to try and get something going. In Group B, Chicago, Indianapolis, Jacksonville, and then there's the terrible quagmire. Oakland, better than Cleveland, Houston, and the Rams. The Rams, the best they can do is 6-7-3. Who knows? Who knows if that's good enough? Jacksonville is 7-5. A win, one more win should be good enough. I think they're already in the top three. Now they're fighting Indianapolis to try and get the second seed. That would be very big. Group C, Baltimore and New England are tied at 10-3. Then you have Tampa, who's 8-3-2, and Baltimore, who's 8-5, who lost. So now we're going to take a look at this. Baltimore is 8-5. Dallas is 8-5, so they are all, the conference loss puts Dallas below Baltimore. San Diego is 5-4-4. The best they can do is 8-4-4, which might be enough. Who knows? But it's going to be up to Baltimore, Dallas. San Diego has to win out. They have to win their last three games. San Diego. Now Arizona could go 9-6-1. So all these teams have to keep going. 7-5-4 for Denver. They could go. Let's take a look. San Diego, their last three games: Cincinnati, Seattle, Atlanta. Oh my goodness, they can. The Freezer Bowl rematch. They could easily go 8-4-4. If they're into the fourth seed, then that's huge. But they're going to need Baltimore and Dallas to lose probably again, and San Diego will have to win out. That's probability. Miami 9-7 is the best they can go. They're going to have to hope that Baltimore and Dallas, well, they lose. They go 9-7. The conference record for Miami is 0-1, so that's not good. Miami, the last couple games, Atlanta, San Diego, and Baltimore, three tough ones. That was a tough one today. 87 Washington, 5-7-1. They're probably out. They could go 8-7-1. They need a ton of help. 86 New York, and the Steelers are 8-4, so they're looking good. You don't want to go crazy here. Look at Kansas City, right behind Chicago. Chicago is falling. Kansas City is rising. Chicago has lost 5 in a row. They got New England, they can beat them, New Orleans and LA, so they can win 2 of their last 3. Kansas City has Pittsburgh, Minnesota, and San Francisco. Well, you just never know. This team lost to San Diego by a point. That's 2019. So Kansas City this is a very good football team. Who knows? They're a half game back. New York is also at 500. They're 5-5-3. So they also have a shot. Chicago, it's all on them. 72 Washington. 4 of their last 5 they won. They went 0-6-1 in 7 games. And then outside the 0-6-1 stretch, from week 1, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13, they are 5-1. So taking a look, that funk that they were in, they got to beat New England, Baltimore, and Kansas City. They beat 68 Baltimore. That's big. But there we go. Here's Group B. New England, LA, and Minnesota, all 8-4-1. So now the question is, you're looking at tens of slots. Green Bay is also close, of 96. Cleveland and Pittsburgh are all 7-6. It could happen that way. They could go 10-6. But Cleveland and Pittsburgh would have to win out. New Orleans has to go 9-5-2. They have to win out. New Orleans, who was 6-2-2 and lost their last three, they have to beat San Francisco, Chicago, Philly. They can do it. They can go 9-5-2. And then you're seeing which one of these is going to falter. Group F, Green Bay solidified. Very good, they're in. They go 11-3-1 and 11-4-1. They could lose the last three by 100 apiece. Minnesota and Carolina. But remember, these are the slots. All the ones are seeded first. Then all the twos are seeded. Then all the threes are seeded. So it's very possible if you lose a game or tie a game, you could drop from the second seed all the way to, let's say, the 19th seed. You never know. Carolina, Minnesota, and look at San Francisco. So the 06 Chargers, if the 49ers, here's the thing with the 49ers. These 49ers, the 94 49ers are, all they can go is 8-7-1. Minnesota can go 8-7-1. The 49ers have a conference loss. San Francisco here, they got San Francisco of 81, New York, and Dallas, so they can do it. These 49ers got Green Bay, Carolina, and New York. They might be able to do it. Very disappointing for San Francisco. The two New England teams are down. Group F, Group G, the Houston Oilers are 9-4. St. Louis is 8-4-1. So Houston is looking good. They've lost, I believe, their last two games. St. Louis is, in their last six, they're 5-1. They play Cincinnati, LA, and Indianapolis. Those last two will be really good games. Though LA is down the list. They're in that quagmire, but they're falling. I'm surprised at how bad LA is simming. They're a solid football team. Maybe they are a relic of a weak NFL in the mid-'80s where the power vacuum was whipped up by a few teams. But New York is 7-6. So Seattle and Pittsburgh, look at the Steelers. The Steelers are 6-6-1. They won 43-31. Look at their offense, though. They're starting to really score points against people. A lot of points. And they got Philadelphia, Cincinnati, and Seattle. They can win the last three and go 9-6-1. The Steelers can make it. They can make it. But what they got to do, they're a half game out. New York, in their last three games, this is going to be weird. New York is San Diego, which they can beat, Minnesota and San Francisco. They could go 1-2. New York would go 8-8. I guess 8-8 is the thing. Seattle, in their last games, are a heck of a football team scoring-wise. They're LA, that can be a win. Cleveland a win, win. So Seattle 9-6-1 looks very good to them. New England at 7-5-1. Oakland, Buffalo, and Houston. That is big. So who knows? St. Louis has to win every game. St. Louis is looking to try and go. They want to go 9-6-1, St. Louis. Houston is 9-4. The Houston Oilers, they have New England, Minnesota, and Cleveland. Well, Cleveland, that's going to be a mess, that division. Group H, Denver, 10-2-1. Miami is 9-3-1. Baltimore is 8-4-1. So the Miracle Chargers, they're above 500. So 3 games to go. They need to, Dallas of 92 can go 9-7. That's the one that we wonder. Now, if Dallas loses against LA, Indianapolis, or Tennessee, that's big. But San Diego is Oakland, Miami, and New York. 3 tough games. But they've been playing really well so far this year, the Miracle Chargers. You just never know right now. You just never, ever know. Sorry about this team standings. Let's go down all the way. HI. Look at Denver. Denver has worked their way up. Look how bad Denver was early. They were 2-4-2, and they've won their last 5. And they haven't beat the best teams in the world, but they've beat solid teams. They lost to Arizona, got blown out by Minnesota, lost to San Francisco, and lost to Kansas City by a point. But Denver is working their way up, the 05 Steelers. Now look at Baltimore, who's fifth place, and Dallas, who's fifth place. Dallas, the best Dallas team in the 1970s. You know, if you're a 70s Dallas fan, that group I is just absolutely clustered right here. Oakland 6-6-1. They can make it, but they have to win 2 games and go 8-6-1 and hope that everybody else loses, which is a possibility. Now I want to take a look at the hottest team in football. First of all, Kansas City. This is the hottest team. They're 5-0-1. That tie against Green Bay is killing them right now. They started off 0-4. They started off 1-6. They start off 1-6. They go 2-6 against San Diego, 2-6-1 against Green Bay, 3-6, 3-6-1 against Carolina, 4-6-1 against New York, 5-6-1 against Minnesota, 6-6-1 against San Francisco. They got a shot. They can win these last 3 games. They could go 9-6-1, and if they go 9-6-1, that gives them a shot. The New York Jets, they won their last 2. They won their last 2 very convincingly, and they just went through a funk where in 6 games there were 1-4-1. So that's not good at all. Philadelphia, Baltimore, New York down there. I mean, my goodness. Group J. This is where you got a couple 49er teams, 81 and 84. Chicago, the surprise team. But look how many teams there are. And with everybody in that losing, 71 Dallas, many people, the forgotten team, still has a chance. Look at all those teams. Now, Cleveland winning by the Hail Mary, if they would have lost, they would be 2 down with 3 to go, a possibility. Because look at all those teams. You know they're not all going to win out. And Cleveland, by hitting that Hail Mary, now has a chance. 7-9, I don't know about that. 3-9-1 for New England, they're out of it. But Cleveland in their last 3 is New York, Washington, and Houston. 3 tough teams. Baltimore at 58, they've lost 3 in a row. They got Green Bay, Buffalo, and Philadelphia. San Francisco, a little bit safe. But Minnesota, 76, a good football team. Green Bay, Kansas City, and Pittsburgh. I mean, Pittsburgh's are going to be fighting. So that's it, really, for that's their standings. That's the playoffs. We're going to play some music and show you the league leaders. Just sit back, relax, and watch the league leaders here. And then we'll go from there. Let's get to the first. Let's go. Here we go. Here's the league leaders. Watch the league leaders. That's it. We're going to see you for next week. And tomorrow we're going to have a few games. Buffalo and Arizona looking for 2 slots. Indianapolis, Jacksonville, Chicago, Dallas. Oh, that Dallas game is going to be big. Oh, yeah. Chicago and Dallas. What a huge football game that'll be. San Diego and Cincinnati. Very, very big. All these are huge. 95 Pittsburgh, they need to win. Dallas and Detroit, look at them. That's a big game. All these are big football games tomorrow. Well, most of them. The ones with multiple losses, well, make your own judgment. Teams tomorrow try and wrap it up. The San Francisco Derby. That is a lot, especially if you're the 89 49ers. Houston's got to beat New England or else they're done. Green Bay and Baltimore, look at that. That's an old-fashioned matchup. 98 versus 88. Pittsburgh against Philadelphia, 75. They got a shot there. New England, New York. Is that Denver? Denver against New York here. We'll see you tomorrow.